the home of House of the Dragon and the upcoming Harry Potter series, aka HBO, felt the need to warn its viewers about Gone with the Wind. Yes, apparently Gone with the Wind, which for decades now has been recognized as one of the Hollywood classics, people's favorite films, even though I personally have never seen it. But I am aware of it because of how often it's highly praised. Well, apparently HBO felt the need to warn its viewers with a 4 minute, 4 minute intro video, which I believe you're forced to watch. And it includes some dude looking black chick that basically says it denies the horrors of slavery and legacy of racial inequality and and paints this idyllic picture. But you know what HBO, its parent company, has no issue with you having access to? The works of the pedo priest cosplayer himself, James Gunn. And on my previous channel, I've consistently mentioned uh, not only Warner's flagrant ignoring of his hundreds of pedo posts, which he was temporarily fired for, but then rehired, fired by Disney, then rehired by Warner, really as a spit in the face of a few conservatives that libtards within the industry saw celebrating. It's like, oh, he's one of our own. We don't like that they're celebrating. Let's rehire within our industry, because as far as I'm concerned, all of these companies are the same. Let's rehire him to do more work, give him an executive position just to spite the conservatives. Let's enable the pedo, allegedly, to spite the conservatards. And quite frankly, there's a lot of people who claim to be on the non-SJW, non-liberal side that support the likes of James Gunn as well, who, if you needed damning evidence to at least question someone's guilt of something, he has it in spades, not just with the post, but his associations, two in particular. One who was convicted of possessing child pornography and, of course, given a slap on the wrist, and the other one who was accused by a specific underage girl, who was underage at the time. As a matter of fact, in that pedo priest cosplaying picture that's out there, where there's like a bunny rabbit and adult women dressed like little girls, one of those women is the wife of the guy that was accused by the underage girl for being sexually engaged with her. But of course, that's nothing to warn about. As a matter of fact, nothing current day is even addressed by the likes of HBO and Hollywood in general. Just think, how many times have you seen movies about black serial killers? Immigrant criminals south of the border. Hell, how many times have they actually touched on the full narrative of slavery? And how many non-white people were involved? I mean, these are tons of movies, tons of TV series that can address this various subject matter, past and what's relevant currently going on now. And you'll be lucky if you can count on two hands how many of those ideas have been made into movies. Ideas, actual history, current day events. you can count on two hands. They never make movies about the subject matter that's actually relevant and currently horrifying. Quite frankly, the only idyllic portrayal of slavery is mainly from this idea that, oh, it's safe. You can just blame white people for it in America in particular. There's not other groups of people that participated. It's idyllic for the victimhood minority, which, again, woke white libtards and liberal Jews push. They're the primary pushers of this image, of this narrative, of how only one group of people was actively involved in it. I do remember on Roots when they had the kids getting captured. They briefly touched on the fact that Africans were involved with selling their own people. But of course, it still was sort of portrayed like they were doing it because the presence of the Europeans. Not that they were enthusiastically selling their own because they were already enslaving their own already. So it's basically like, oh, this dirt on the ground could be worth something to these white faces, these rocks that we have everywhere. That's how these African rulers viewed other Africans, other so-called black people. Oh, sure, I'll sell this off. Big deal. Get stuff that I've never seen before, too. But anyway, this is the type of stuff, though, that people are still supporting. Because when I'm talking about this Gone with the Wind situation, I'm talking about HBO Max, which is still, last time I checked, is a subscription service. So you have people who are paying and complaining about the 4-minute warning. And it's just things like that that really highlights that not only are the pushers of this nonsense the problem, but the people who complain and still consume. In a lot of ways, they're a bigger problem because if they stopped, this shit would no longer exist.